Hello, and welcome to the Stitch the Season sewing prompts for 2021. Now this is about being inspired with Christmas stitching, and for 10 days I'll give prompts with a different prompt each day with a theme or a technique or a color. In today's prompt, we're up to day 3. So if you're new to this series, check out my other videos, which I'll link below, that include the prepping and planning to make your blank ornaments, and then prompts 1 and 2. So today's prompt, prompt 3, is Snowflake. This is your typical cold weather image that I associate with Christmas. Now I no longer live in the cold climate for Christmas time, but every time I see a snowflake, I can't help but think of Christmas time. I'll show you my process for completing my ornament with the Snowflake prompt. So for prompt 3, the Snowflake, I found some fabric here with this silver embossed design of snowflakes. It's kind of pretty. I might use that, I don't know. I also found this scrapbook paper with these hand-drawn snowflakes, and I happen to really love that. I have my charms here, and then I took out my embroidery floss in white and ecru, just because my colors are kind of muted. I have my backing with day 3 and my front piece here. So I'm going to start by creating a snowflake right on my front piece here. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of this embossed fabric that I'm just going to cut out and tack down, and then I'm going to embroider over it. I think those stitches might look pretty nice. So I'll just cut out a snowflake, and I have one right here. And I'll just cut around it, kind of a fussy cut design, but I'm not worried about getting it exact. I like having a little border here, and I'm just kind of emphasizing the shape. So once I have my snowflake cut out, I can make any changes to it that I want. If anything looks particularly wonky, I'll try and trim that up. And then I'll set that down right on my piece here. And then I can start my embroidery. I'm just going to tack it down here with a pin right in the center. And then I can start my embroidery right on top of it. Now I have my little pen here, and I just want to emphasize the areas I'm going to embroider. And I'll take a little hint from this particular hand-drawn snowflake. So I like this circle that's in the middle here. So I'm kind of copying this idea, but I think I might use something from that as well. And then I'll just make my lines out. I'm just designing my snowflake at this point and emphasizing what we already have here on my fabric. And then I'm just going to make some lines coming out just like this. So it's kind of a rustic snowflake. And when I'm happy with that, I can start my embroidering. I'm going to take that ecru fabric here and just go over it. Now I'll start in the center, and I'll come right out in those lines. I think I'm going to come out on those lines, kind of making a chain stitch. So I make 2 lines together and I create a loop. And I pull that forward to make the length of my loop. Again, I want my needle to go in right on my line. And then I can pull that down very gently, making it snug. I'll make that loop again, go back in, right next to the hole that I came up in, make my loop, keeping it the same size as that first loop, and I determine that by coming up right where I want that loop size to be. pull that snug, and I'll continue that stitch all the way to the end of this spire here of the snowflake. Now once I come to the end of my stitch, I'm just going to make a little stitch right down to hold it in place. And I can pull out my stitches, just pulling them apart, loosening them up, and there I have a line of stitches. I'm going to move this all around here. And now I'm going to continue by making the chain stitch up each of these remaining spires. So once I have my chain stitches complete, and then I'm just going to go around here with a stem stitch and create that inner circle. So I make my loop, I come up partway through my loop, and I just follow the arc of that circle all the way around, splitting each stitch as I go. So now I have that rounded circle. The next part is to make these little lines that come off of each of these chain stitches. So now I'm just going to start over here and create very small stitches, just with some straight stitches, to bring that line of the snowflake right to that chain stitch. I'll just do 2 stitches or so. And I'll do that on either side. And it's a very subtle effect. So now that I've finished my stitching, I want to remove those little marks. So I'll take my iron and just press down to remove that marker, just so that there's no blue on my snowflake. So there, my snowflake is complete. It's very subtle and I like the way it looks, just a little hand stitching. I want to add a little bit of background. And on the previous ornaments, I've done little seed stitches. So I'm going to do the same thing, making little seed stitches, but I want to go around and making them look like little falling snow. So I'm just going to make little small stitches as if snow is coming down. So I have all the stitches complete on the background that I want on my snowflake theme. I'm going to put it on the back of this ornament, just like this, and do a straight stitch all the way around it, coming in from the back, just like I've done on the other ornaments. I'll show you how this looks when it's complete. I'll stitch all the way through the ribbon and through the base, and we'll take a look at our finished ornament. So that's it. That's how I completed my snowflake ornament for prompt number 3. If you participate in the challenge, snap a photo of your work and post it on social media with the hashtag Stitchtheseason, and feel free to tag me. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for Prompt 4 in the Stitch the Season series.